What's up, Zealkin? My name is B.D. McAteer, author of Blightbringer. Something that's been on my mind a lot lately is how difficult it was to actually self-publish. A lot more difficult than you would probably expect. A lot more difficult than you would probably expect to self-publish. When you look at the big picture of things, it's kind of obvious, but especially when you're starting out, we don't know everything that actually goes into self-publishing until we do it. Even what I thought was going to be a simple thing, just uploading the files onto Ingram Spark or Amazon, ended up being very challenging tasks. For one, Ingram Spark, I had to do the paid version of Adobe. And they told me something in there was oversaturated, right? So the only way to fix that, so far as I could tell, was to go on Adobe and mess around with it until I figured it out. And that was challenging. I ended up having to find something online just to do it. Somebody else made it. I didn't know how to make such a thing. Anyway, that's going to be for a later video with this, what I'm planning on doing. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm writing another book. We're going to call it Project M for now. And Project M is a story that I've been working on since I was 13, maybe even a little younger. And it's time to bring it to the zeitgeist. It's time to bring it into the world. And what I thought would be a good idea is Blightbringer, this book right here. I've gone step for step on figuring out how to self-publish a book. And what I want to do is I'm going to have to go through every single one of those steps again. Every single one. So from start to finish, you and I are going to self-publish a novel. We are going to start from the very beginning, coming up with ideas, and we're going to end with actually getting the book on some shelves. Because there's a lot that people don't talk about. There's a lot of good sources out there on becoming a novelist, but nobody to really walk you through the steps. So that's what I want to do. Now, I did make one short. It was my first short, and I spoke about fan fiction. This is definitely a good start, and I would recommend to you to look into it. If you've never written anything, it's going to be bad when you start. It's always going to be bad. Always going to be bad. Even when we do our draft 0, you're not going to like everything you write, but that's okay, and we'll get to that. But the primary thing is to start writing, and the daunting experience of where do I start writing? A lot of people will tell you just open up Microsoft Word or whatever you like to use and start writing. It's not that simple. There's mindsets, there's experience that needs to be had. So this is where we're going to start on this little journey that we're about to take. I want you to pick a media that you really enjoyed. Pick something that made you want to write in the first place. Something like 86% of America's population actually wants to write books, and only about 3% do it. And that's because of how daunting the experience can be. There's so much that goes into it. But we're going to start off easy. Somebody else has created something that you enjoy. That could be a video game, it could be a movie, it could be another book. I want you to start by making a character. It can be a self-imposed character if you want. That way, the character's already written for you. It's you. Or it could be another character from the story. Side character, main character, that doesn't matter. You're not going to sell this. You're not going to post it anywhere. Please don't do that, because you could, I don't know all the rules, I don't know all the laws, but you could open yourself up to litigation. That's not the point of this. The point is to get some experience. For me, I started off with Elder Scrolls, the video game series, Morrowind to be specific. And I fell in love with the lore. And what I did with that, and what a lot of people do that with fan fiction, is they find a gap in the lore. Something happened in history. There's a cult or a religion or just an event that happened, and there's no real description on what happened. And I'll just go ahead and fess up here. Mine was Argonians in Black Marsh. I don't remember what era. I'll have to look it up. But there was a disease that killed every human that was in Black Marsh. Every race that wasn't Argonian. That was my start. That is the very first thing that I started writing on, like legitimately writing on. There's another story with the lead character of Project M, but I'll get to that eventually. But that Argonian was the original source of where Blightbringer came from. I won't give any more details. I'd really love you. Please consider picking up the book and seeing what happened. But the original story was an Argonian in Black Marsh trying to save his country from invading forces. Now, that didn't end up happening, but I used it to create my own world, my own background, my own characters, everything. That one little step. So that's where I want you to start today. There will be more videos. This is obviously the first one. It's not going to get out there too much right away. But as we build on this, I guess you could call it lesson or class, there will be more to follow. This very first step, I need you to look at that media that made you want to be a writer in the first place. That could be, again, a book, a movie, a video game. It's probably going to have around the same themes and around the same tones that you want to use. Absorb its message. Start imagining your own character in that world. If you do something like play Dark Souls or Elden Ring, role play as the character inside your head. So yes, you're having to go step for step through the story, but you can imagine that character interacting with that story a little bit more. Maybe Patches takes a liking to one of to your character, for instance, in the Dark Souls franchise, and they actually work together. But then you have this Loki prankster type character following yours around. That could make for a very interesting story, rather than just he likes us but he doesn't like us, he abuses us to save us kind of thing. That's a good story in itself, but we don't see that much of the Patches character. But you can take that character that you've designed to play the video game and walk through with Patches. What does that look like? What does the rest of that franchise look like with that one character walking through with Patches as their Lancer? And we'll get to talking about tropes and whatnot. Lancer's just, simply put, your sidekick, in a sense. It's much more complicated than that, but that's beside the point for now. So pick a media, absorb its themes, absorb its message, get a character in there, start writing on it. We're going to build something else based on what it is that you absorb. But for now, this is a good start. Feel free to start writing it down. Studies have shown that writing on notebooks is actually better for creativity. Grab yourself a notebook. Never be without something to write on. I know a lot of people like to write on their phones. That's not me. I will have a notebook on me at all times, whether that be something like this or I don't have it right next to me right now, but it's somewhere. I have notebooks all around here that I just open up and start writing on. I highly recommend getting a notebook because you can do it at work. You know, even if you're busy doing other stuff, have that notebook right there. Take some notes. If something comes to your mind, take a note. It's okay to be absorbed into this. Becoming obsessed about it is a good thing. I mentioned in one of my blogs there's a poem that I really enjoy. It's called So You Want to Be an Author it's called So You Want to Be a Writer by Charles Bukowski. I might be saying that wrong, I apologize. But I'm gonna put a link to another channel in the description below of this rendition that I really enjoy. Definitely watch that. And I'll tell you, it's not meant to dissuade you from writing, but it is meant to help you get into that mindset that you need to have if you want to take this seriously. Because we're not AI writers, okay? Everybody's got to take a stance on something. AI writers are not writers. If I click a button and I can have a book in 2 to 3 business days, that is not me being an author. So we want to take this seriously. We don't want to just have that cheap dopamine hit from being able to tell our coworkers, oh yeah, I published a novel. We want something that's going to hopefully stand the test of time. We want something that we've poured our heart and soul into to craft and to bring to the world. As this means something, I want it to mean something to you, not just I can say I did it. I'll probably speak on that some other time as well. But listen to the poem. Understand what it is to be a writer, what it is to take it seriously and be diligent about it. Make it into part of your whole character, your whole persona, your whole being. You're not doing it for clout. You're not doing it for money. You're doing it because you want to. Maybe you have something you want to say. Maybe you just have a world you want to share with everyone. We're not AI writers here. AI is taking over a lot of stuff. But it can't take the soul out of work, good works. I want you to be the best writer that you can be. And I want to show you how to get that to where it's something tangible to be in other people's hands. So walk with me. I have to do this all over again. And I'm gonna hopefully learn some new stuff because it was difficult. But hopefully I can save you a little bit of difficulty. And we can get that work that's been in your head for the last decade that you have just not made the time to put down to paper. Until next time, Zielkin. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking around. This is my first video. I apologize for the quality. It's going to get better. I'm learning a lot. This is a whole new skill set that I'm trying to pick up. I did try turning down the light brightness of my camera. Maybe that'll help. I saw it was kind of zooming in and out. It could be I'm moving too much and it's just, you see what I'm saying? But I'll figure it out. We'll work on it. Thank you for sticking around though. And if it's something that interests you, bit of a self-promotion coming, just a fair warning to everybody. I'm the publisher and author of Blightbringer. It is a grimdark fiction fantasy, and as I said, it started off being a fan fiction for the Elder Scrolls series. But I'm going to put a link down below for the book and for my website, please give it a look. I enjoyed writing it. I'm probably going to come up with more additions later down the road. But the main... I will caveat one thing. I'm going to call it Project Black because Project M doesn't really flow off the tongue too well. So the book that we are going to be working on together, or you're going to be working alongside me with, is Project Black. So again, thank you for sticking around. I know the quality was a little rough, but we're going to figure this out. Until next time.